Okay, hi, good morning. This is the chapter, okay, that we'll be discussing now, that is called equation of a straight line, okay. And in this chapter, what you can do is you can just categorize them, or you can just put them into two different exercises, exercise 1 and exercise 2. The exercise 1 is uh, where all the questions will come in section A. So exercise 1 is complete section A. So that means you'll have to know each and everything about the first exercise. Now in exercise 2, you'll have some questions that will come in section B, but some will come in A. So half comes in A, half comes in B. Okay, but still I would advise you all, it's quite simple. So rather than thinking, okay, it's a section B, so we can skip a few things, I would advise you all to think the entire second exercise also has a section A. So you consider this entire equation of a straight line to be as a section A, means you need to know each and everything. So imagine, assume this to be as a compulsory chapter. Okay, so all questions will come in compulsory section. You just imagine that. Okay, now first information, the first thing that we'll discuss about the equation of straight line is there is a general formula. Okay, the general formula is y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, this is the general formula by which we can find the equation of a straight line. Okay, and in this one, your m stands for your slope or your gradient, and it's with sign. So that means whatever is the value, you'll have to go ahead and take with sign. Example, if I have, let's say, y is equals to minus 3 by 2x plus 5 by 3, then along with x, what do we have? Along with x, we have minus 3 by 2. Then this minus 3 by 2 is called your slope, or it's called your gradient. So we have to consider the sign also. And this one, this c, this is also along with sign. This is called your y-intercept. This is also with sign. So this is called your y-intercept. So that means you need to make sure that the sign is also taken into consideration. Now, and in this one, now this is very important. This is the only exception. Right from class 8 onwards, whatever we have been studying, okay, we will follow the same thing in the entire chapter, but it's only in this particular general formula we will make an exception. Okay, normally what we have been doing is, normally we always make x positive or not. Whenever we have x and all in a question, we always tend to find x, we always get the value of x, and then for that we always make x positive, and then x is alone. Like example, if I have, let's say, 3x minus 2y is equal to 5 and all, this is simultaneous, but let's say if there's only one equation, then usually we write 3x is equal to 5 plus 2y, then x is equal to 5 plus 2y by 3. Usually we always tend to find x this way, so we always make x positive. Sometimes even if I have like this 2y minus 3x is equal to 4, we take it that side, 2y is equal to 3x plus 4, and then this will come here, 2y minus 4 is equal to 3x, 2y minus 4 by 3 is equals to a. So we always tend to find x. Okay, that is the normal thing that we have been following right from class 8 onwards. So first we make x a positive if it's not, and then we find x by making it alone. Okay, but this is the only exception I said where we will have to make this one. This is the only case where we'll have to make y has to be made positive. Now when do I do this? Only when we are using a general formula. Whenever we are taking the help of the general formula to find anything. So if we are using this, the moment I use this, I have to make sure that my y is positive, because as per the general formula, y is positive. X, we do not know, x can have a negative also, it doesn't matter, but y always has to be positive as per the general formula. So this is the only case. Whenever I take the help, or whenever I apply my general formula, you have to make sure that y is positive. And another thing is, y has to be alone. Okay, now example, the same question, if I have 3x minus 2y is equals to 5, and then if I am converting this question in this form, that means if I am applying my general formula, then I need to make sure that I go ahead and make my y positive. And why, when will we apply the general formula? So how do I know that, okay, this is an equation given and this is where I have to apply my general formula? How do we come to know? So whenever the question says, whenever equation is given, whenever you have an equation given to you in the question, and then if they say find slope, or even if they don't say find slope. Now if we have to find slope, sometimes they may not literally say find slope. Sometimes we may have to get the slope and then use that slope in the other half of your question. Then I still have to make sure that I apply my general formula. So whenever we have to find slope, so anytime the question says find slope, or even if it doesn't say find slope, if I have to find slope to go ahead and proceed with my sum, then I will always apply my general formula. This is a must. So what is the must? So what is the important thing? You have to make sure that the question has an equation given, and you have to make sure in that from that equation, if I have to find slope, then we will always go ahead and take the help of the general form. That means we'll always apply the general formula, and then whenever we apply the general formula, we will always make y positive, and then we'll always make y alone. Is that okay? So first and foremost is, when do we apply general formula? Whenever equation is given and slope is what we have to find, then we always apply general formula, and then whenever we apply general formula, we have to make y positive and keep y alone. So how do I do that? So this was the question that I was given. So now if it says find slope, okay, equation given, find slope, I have to apply my general formula. So for that I have to make y positive. Y is negative over here, so first I make y positive. Now y is already positive, now y need to be alone, so I start bringing one by one. So I brought the 5 this side, then I got 5 minus 3 by 2 is equal to 5. Now this is what normally we do, but over here in your equation of a straight line, we have to do one extra step. So what is that extra step is this denominator, we have to make sure that we write it individually for each and every term that we have in the numerator. Means this denominator is for this also, this denominator is for this also. We have to separate them. So how do I separate them? I write 3x by 2 minus 5 by 2 is equal to y. This is what we have to do. Now you don't have to do all this. This is just to explain you. From here directly you can write this also, okay? If you want, you can skip that step. So you have to do an extra step is separate the denominator. That means give it for each and every term. Now once I have this, then along with x, what do I have? I have 3 by 2. So my m, or my slope, that is m, that is slope or gradient, that is m, is along with x, that is equal to positive 3 by 2, and my y intercept with the sign is minus 5 by 2. Okay, so that is how we go ahead and get a slope and a y-intercept whenever an equation is given to you. And then how did I get that? I took the help of my general formula, that is y is equal to mx plus c, and whenever we do that, we always make y positive and we leave y alone. Okay, so let's go ahead and give another sum, or let's do another sum. So let's say, for example, if I have 6x by 3 minus 2 y is equals to 7. If I have something like this, then what do? First thing is I need to go ahead and find the LCM. So I find the LCM, that is 3. 6x minus 3 2s are 6y is equal to 7. So I cross multiply. So when I cross multiply, what do I get? I get 6x minus 6y, because 1 will multiply, I get the same thing. 7 3s will give me 21. Okay, so 1 will multiply 6x, 1 will multiply 6y as it is, 7 3s are 21. So once I get this, now if the question says find slope, okay, equation given, find slope, then what do I have to do? I need to take this that side. 6x is equal to 21 plus 6y, and then 6x, this will come this side, minus 21 is equal to 6y. Now some of you, what you can do is you can skip this step also. From here directly you can do this. Means when you're taking the 6y that side, you can directly bring the 21 this side also. So there are times when we can skip. Now we have this one, but I said you can skip this step also, you can skip this step also. So from here directly what you can write, 6x by 6 minus 21 by 6 is equals to y. So then what do I get? We get, along with x, we have this. So my slope is equal to 6 by 6. If it can be cancel, and then y intercept is equal to minus 21 by 6. Okay, so that is how we go ahead and find our slope and our y-intercept whenever an equation is given. And since in this one we are taking the help of our general formula, that is y is equal to mx plus c, how are we taking the help? Because if I want to find slope and all, we always make it in this form. So whenever an equation is given, and if they ask us to find slope, always what we do is we always make it in this form, because once I convert my given equation in the general form, then what will happen? Along with x, whatever I have, that automatically becomes my slope, and c becomes my y-intercept. So it's very, very easy to find a slope. So this method is whenever we have to find slope when an equation given, then you always take the help of the general formula. Means we always convert the given equation in the general formula form, that is y is equal to mx plus c. Once I get in this form, then along with x, whatever we have, that becomes my slope, and this becomes my y-intercept. So that's the first important thing. Okay, now the next thing that we will be discussing is, now we will learn. So over here right now in the first half, the first one, what have we learned till now? What have we learned is, now first we have learned to find slope. We have learned to find slope when an equation is given. So whenever an equation is given, how do I find slope? I take the help of general formula, or I convert the given equation in y is equal to mx plus c form, and then along with x we have, that becomes my slope, and that becomes y. That's the first thing we'll learn. Now the second thing that we'll learn is, now we'll learn to find an equation when a point and slope is given. Okay, so if I have a question where a point and slope is given, then how do I find an equation? Okay, so let's say given a point is 2, 3, and then the slope, that is m, is minus 2 by 3. Okay, so if there is a point given and there is a slope given, okay, then the formula to find the equation is, okay, so what will be the formula to find the equation whenever a point and a slope is given? It will be y minus y1 is equals to m x minus x1. That's the formula we will use to go ahead and find the equation of any line where a point and a slope is given. And in this one, x and y remains as it is. So in this one, x will leave it as x only, y will leave it as y only, and the point that has been given to you, that will consider as x1 and y1. So in this formula, so wherever I see x1, I'll have to put the value of the point whose coordinate is this one, like 2 becomes my x1, 3 becomes a y1, and this is already my m. So like, let's say for example, if I have to solve this question only, so if there is this, if this question says find the equation which passes through this point and which has a slope, this one, then what will I do? I'll apply this. So over here I said x and y remains as it is, so y is y minus y1 is 3, m is what? Minus 2 by 3, x is x minus x1 is equals to 2. So now I cross multiply, 3 will multiply y minus 3, minus 2 will multiply x minus 2, 3y minus 9, minus 2x plus 4. Okay, so once I get this, so this is the thing. But now whenever you are finding an equation, okay, I said the exception will only be there whenever you are going ahead and finding what? Where did I keep that? Okay, so I don't know where I kept it, the previous one. Okay, so now whenever you are finding an equation, what you have to do is over here. So I'll first note. Now we come back to our main thing. So whenever we are finding equation, now over here we are not finding the slope, equation is also not given to us, then here we come back to a normal. What is a normal? We make number one x positive. Now we come back to a normal thing. Okay, it was only in the previous one where we are applying the general formula, we make y positive, but now we come back and we start making x positive. Okay, and then whenever you are writing an equation, it's not just in this topic, but now from now on, whenever the question says, okay, later on we'll have different methods also by which we can find equation, but no matter whichever method you use, whenever you have to find an equation, you will always do this. You will make x positive, always make x positive, and then the second thing is bring all the terms towards the side where x is positive. Sometimes the x could be positive on the right, so you'll have to bring everything towards the right. Sometimes the x could be positive on the left, you'll have to bring everything towards the left. I'll give you an example, okay? And then number 3, the other side right equals to 0. And then when you're writing the order, first will always be x, second will always be y, and third will be the number. Now what do I mean by this? First will always be x, second will always be y. Example, so when you're writing an equation, you'll always write 3x minus 2y plus 4 equal to 0. So first I'm writing this. You will never write an equation 2y minus plus 3x plus 5 equals to 0. So you will not, this is not the correct order. The correct order is, when you're writing, first should always be x, then should always be y, then should always be the number, okay? But some of you may get confused with this one, so I'll come back to this question. This is not done. We'll have to complete this, but let's give you a few examples of, let's say, what do we mean by x positive, bring all the terms towards one side. So let's say, for example, I have something like this. 4y minus 2 is equals to 5x minus 3. Okay, so it says make x positive. Okay, so first thing is make x positive. Over here you check x is already positive, so that means I don't have to make, it's already positive. Then it says bring all the terms towards the side where x is positive. So x is positive this side, so bring everything this side. So when I bring it, and then it says other side write equal to 0. So this side I write equal to 0, then I write 5x minus 3 minus 4y plus 2. Okay, then now when you're writing the order, first should always be x, then second should be y. The second is the number. Now this is not the correct order, so I'll have to write 5x minus 4y minus y. That is the correct order. Okay, sometimes what may happen is, like, I may get 4y minus 5 is equals to minus 3x plus 2. So x is negative, I need to make it positive, so I'll bring it this side. So this side, when I bring, x becomes positive, and then it says bring all the terms towards the side where x is positive. So I'll have to bring everything this side. So when I bring everything this side, what will happen? 4y minus 5 plus 3x minus 2, and the other side I write equal to 0. But this is again not the correct order, because correct order means first x should be there. So first I write x, then 4y, then minus 7 equal to 0. That is the meaning of, okay, check which side x is positive, whichever side x is positive, bring everything on that side, and the other side just write equal to 0. And once you have brought everything on one side, you need to check the order also. First should always be x, then the y, then should be the number. Is that okay? Now we come back to our question. And it was 3y minus 9. So we had 3y minus 9 is equals to minus 2x plus 4. So this one. So when we solved, we got 3y minus 9, is equal to minus 2x plus 4 is equal to minus 2x plus 4. So x is negative over here. So what do? We have to bring it this side. So when I bring this side over here. So 3y minus 9 plus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. Then it's not the correct order. 2x plus 3y minus 13 is equal to 0. That's my required equation. And then now, since you are in class, then now since you will be sitting for your ICC, we need not waste our time by writing this. So whenever you're moving x and whenever you're making it positive, directly start putting them in an order only. I know that first I have to put this, so rather than doing this step, I can directly, okay, this becomes the first, this becomes second, and these two together, I can, if you can do it mentally, then do it. Okay, else you just do it step by step. Okay, so let's give you another example. So let's say another example is, let's say, okay, proper question will be like, find the equation of a straight line which passes through 2, 3 and which has and a slope of, let's say, 4 by 3. So then I have a point that is 2, 3. I'll write it x1, y1. Then I have a slope that is m is equal to 4 by 3. Then the equation that the formula that I'll use to get my equation is this. Okay, and then over here y is y only, minus y1 is a 3. Or let's take a minus 3. So I'll have a minus. This is the formula's minus. This is the y1's minus. And then as 4 by 3. x minus x1. So this will cross multiply, or before that, first y plus 3, 4 by 3, and then the 3 will cross multiply, y plus 3 is equals to 4x minus 2, 3y plus 9 is equal to 4x minus 8. Now x is positive, so I bring everything this side. So this side I write equal to 0. When I'm doing this, I'll start putting them in an order. So first I write x, then I write this, and then if you want, you can do this step by step. 4x minus 3y minus 17. That's my required equation. Okay, so that becomes my required equation. So that is how we solve this. Okay, now I'll just do one more. Okay, and that one more will be this. Okay, so now the next one is to find an equation when 2 points are given. So whenever 2 points, now instead of 1 point and a slope, now they've given you 2 points. And how do you find? Then the equation is found by this formula: y minus y1 over y2 minus y1 is equal to x minus x1 over x2 minus x1. That's the formula that I will use, where x and y remains as it is, just like the previous one, and the first point that has been given, we call it x1, y1. The second point that we have, we call it x2, y2. Okay, example. Let's just find the equation of a line passing through the points, let's say minus 3 comma 4 and let's say 5 comma minus 6. Then I'll call this what? I'll call this x1, y1. I'll call this x2, y2. Then the formula is this one. So y remains y. This is the formula is minus, y1 becomes 4. If you want, you don't have to put it inside bracket also. And y2 minus y1, y2 is y2 minus y1 is equals x minus x1 minus x1, x2 minus x1, x2 minus x1. So what do I get? We get y minus 4 minus 10, x plus 3, 5 plus 3. So y minus 4 minus 10 is equals to x plus 3 divided by 8. Now we'll cross multiply. Before that, 2 4s are 8, 2 5s are. Now 4 will multiply y minus 4 minus 5 multiplies x plus 3. Is that okay? So we get 4y minus 16 is equals to minus 5x minus 15. Now I said no matter whichever formula you use, whenever the question says find an equation, we said we'll always follow the 4 things. We'll always make x positive, then we'll bring everything on the side where x is positive, and then other side write equal to 0, and then write them in an order: first x, then y, then the number. So this x is negative, we'll bring it this side, everything. So I'll put them in an order also: 5x, then I have 4y, then minus 16 plus 15 equal to 0. So then 5x plus 4y minus 1 equal to 0. That's my required equation. Okay, that's how we find the equation when 2 points are given. Now over here, whenever 2 points are given, it's not just the equation. We can also find slope. We can also find an additional thing called slope. So we can find 2 things whenever 2 points are given. One, we can find an equation whenever 2 points are given by using this formula. We can also find, from the same question, we can also find slope by using the formula. Slope can be found when 2 points are given using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 as the formula. So over here, what was y2? Y2 was minus 6. So we have minus 6 minus, what was y1? Y1 was a 4. So we write 4 divided by, what was x2? X2 was a 5. So we write x2 5 minus, what was x1? X1 was minus 3. So we have minus 3. So we take the same values. We take the same values of x1, y1, x2, y2, and then we just substitute it over here. And then we get what? Minus 10 divided by 5 plus 3. That is minus 10 over 8. 2 5s are, 2 4s are. So we get minus 5 by 4 as the slope. So that's how we get our slope and how we get our equation when 2 points are given. So till now we found 2 ways by which we could find equation. One, we could find the equation when 2 points are given. Another, when a point and a slope was given. And then we also found 2 methods to find slope. One, we can find slope by using this formula, but I can apply this formula only and only when 2 points are given. Okay, if 2 points are not given, then this formula I will not be able to apply. Okay, but at least I have one method by which I can find slope. Okay, another method by which I can find slope is I can just convert the given equation in the general equation form, and then what will happen, whatever is along with x becomes my slope, like in this case we are done. I don't know, like in this case also. Okay, so an equation was given, and then what we did, we just went ahead and converted this into a general formula, and then we found the slope this way. So there are two methods of finding slope till now, and then two methods of finding equation. Is that okay? So that's it for the time being, and if you have any questions, please do let me know. Okay, thank you very much.